Before he became the gruff gunslinger, the galactic officer, or the brutal anti-hero, we know today Karl Urban was just a curious kid growing up in Wellington, New Zealand. Born on June 7, 1972, to a German immigrant father who ran a leather goods store and a mother who worked in film facilities, Karl's early world was a blend of discipline and creativity. His home was filled with stories not just from books, but from behind the scenes of productions thanks to his mother's job at Film Facilities New Zealand. From a young age, he was drawn to storytelling. But unlike most kids who just enjoyed watching movies, Karl was fixated on how they were made. The angles, the lighting, the way an actor's voice could fill a room. He wasn't trying to be famous, he was trying to understand the craft. At just 8 years old, Karl got his first acting experience with a single line in a New Zealand television series. It wasn't a big moment not to anyone else, but for Karl that one line was enough to set a fire. It was the first time he realized that this world, the world of cameras, scripts, emotion, and transformation, might be something more than just fun. It might be home. He continued to act throughout school, balancing classes with local theater performances. He was never the loudest kid in the room, but he had presence, that magnetic kind that pulls you in when he walks on stage. After high school, Karl enrolled at Victoria University of Wellington to study drama, but he didn't stay long. The pull of acting was too strong. He dropped out to pursue it full-time. It wasn't a glamorous start. Karl did commercial soap operas and the classic actor's hustle across New Zealand's small screen industry. But no matter the role, he gave it everything. Because even then, he wasn't working for fame. He was building muscle, artistic muscle. What began as a single line in a children's show slowly evolved into something bigger. A career was taking shape not overnight, but with every small step, every bit part, every audition where he refused to phone it in. Karl Urban was getting ready for something, even if he didn't know what yet. Karl Urban's big break didn't happen in a flash. It came like a quiet wave that built over time, gaining force with every performance. After several years establishing himself in New Zealand with steady roles in shows like Shortland Street and local films, Hollywood came knocking. And when it did, it didn't ask him to be someone else. It asked him to bring exactly what he had, that grounded, steely energy only he could deliver. The turning point was The Lord of the Rings. The Two Towers, 2002. Cast as Éomer, the noble warrior of Rohan, Karl wasn't a headline name yet, but the role placed him firmly on the global map. Under Peter Jackson's direction, and alongside a legendary ensemble cast, Karl brought Éomer to life with raw honor and stoic power. His intensity wasn't showy, it was earned. Every glare, every swing of the sword told a deeper story of loyalty, loss, and strength under pressure. Fans noticed. So did directors. Not long after, he stepped into another iconic universe, The Chronicles of Riddick 2004, starring alongside Vin Diesel. It was his first real taste of Hollywood sci-fi, and he handled it like a seasoned pro. Then came Doom 2005, Pathfinder 2007, and others not always critically loved, but each film showed something consistent. Karl Urban had presence. You couldn't ignore him even when the script wasn't perfect. But the true second breakthrough, that came in 2009 when he took on the role of Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy in J.J. Abrams' reboot of Star Trek. It was risky stepping into shoes once filled by the legendary DeForest Kelley, but Karl didn't imitate. He honored. His Bones was witty, sharp, sarcastic, and deeply human. He wasn't just playing a role. He was reintroducing a beloved character to a new generation without losing what made him special. Suddenly, Karl Urban wasn't just a New Zealand actor doing well. He was a sci-fi mainstay. Directors wanted him, franchises needed him, and fans loved him not because he tried to be the loudest, but because he always felt real, even in galaxies far away. By the time Karl Urban took on the role of Judge Dredd in 2012's Dredd, he was already known, but this part solidified his status as an action star. Unlike big-budget blockbusters where tone fluctuates, Dredd was pure from shot, one gritty, intense, claustrophobic, and raw. Karl's portrayal was cold, professional, and merciless traits baked into the comic book character. Yet he didn't overplay it. His power came from precision, a single nod, a set jawline, a gruff calm. His Dredd didn't need words, he didn't even need expression. But when he spoke, the weight was undeniable. That same ability to convey gravitas with a whisper became his trademark in The Boys, 2019. As Billy Butcher Karl runs on a different fuel, rage, grief, and fierce determination, he's not the hero. He's the anti-hero who's lost, broken, but refuses to stop fighting. His chemistry with co-stars like Anthony Starr and Karl Urban's knack for balancing brutality with humor has made The Boys one of the most talked-about series on television. Billy Butcher is violent and vindictive, yes, but he's also vulnerable, strategic, and emotionally honest in Karl's hands. What stands out isn't just the characters, it's the actor's discipline. Karl doesn't explode on screen, he simmers. You feel the tension before it hits. Whether he's dropping one-liners in Star Trek Beyond 2016 or hunting vampires in Daybreakers 2009, there's a pulse beneath his calm. It's lethal, it's tactile, and it's unmistakably Karl Urban. In recent years, he's stepped into more complex leads, from the cunning marshal in Wolf Creek to the determined cop in Without Remorse 2021. Each time, he brings the same formula: internal fire surrounded by restraint. There's strength in his restraint, a refusal to overshare. He makes power feel contained, not broadcast. That contained power is why directors return. It's why franchises trust him with major roles. It's why fans stay. Karl Urban doesn't just play men in tough situations, he plays men you believe could exist. Movies wouldn't shout his name. He makes the silence do the shouting. Karl Urban's journey into Mortal Kombat 2 marks a new chapter, stepping into the iconic role of Johnny Cage, the cocky martial arts movie star who enters the Mortal Kombat tournament to save Earthrealm, this time portrayed with Urban's trademark depth and subtle flair. The film is set to premiere in October 2025 under director Simon McQuoid, reuniting the first movie's cast, like Sonya Blade, Liu Kang Jax, and adding Urban to the roster with strong fan anticipation. In the teaser trailer, Karl emerges as Johnny Cage, sporting his classic sunglasses, delivering a mix of flair, humor, and just enough swagger to honor the 1990s nostalgia. The Uncaged Fury spoof trailer went viral, teasing fans with a warehouse fight sequence reminiscent of vintage Cage. Urban's take balances parody and respect, showcasing both humor and lethal precision. The franchise's co-creator confirmed Johnny Cage's return in a prominent role and praised Urban's interpretation as fresh and significant, suggesting that Cage will be a central focus of the tournament storyline. The film emphasizes increased scale brutality and dark humor, and positions Urban's Johnny Cage as pivotal in defending Earthrealm against Shao Kahn's invasion. Urban told the press that Cage will begin at his lowest point and grow throughout the film, hinting at an emotional arc not seen before in the franchise. This choice aligns with Urban's history, transforming cocky roles into deeply human characters, adding internal stakes beyond the flashy fights. In joining Mortal Kombat 2, Karl Urban embraces a warrior role that merges showmanship and inner conflict, the perfect blend of his action star presence and emotional authenticity. His casting not only reinforces his stature within genre franchises, but also shows his commitment to bringing nuance to even the most iconic, larger-than-life characters. Karl Urban doesn't dominate headlines, and he doesn't chase the spotlight. But over the years, role by role, film by film, he has quietly built one of the most respected acting careers in modern cinema. From the ancient plains of Rohan to the chaotic streets of Megacity, one from deep space aboard the USS Enterprise to the dark alleys of The Boys' violent satire, Urban's range is as wide as his characters are grounded. He doesn't need to scream to be heard. He doesn't need controversy to stay relevant. His strength lies in restraint, in the intensity that simmers beneath the surface. It's what allows him to bring humanity to warriors, pain to soldiers, and vulnerability to killers. Karl doesn't play roles to impress, he plays to tell the truth of the character. That's why his performances linger long after the credits roll. In an industry where noise often overshadows nuance, Urban reminds us that control is a form of power. His presence on screen isn't loud, but it commands attention. He has a unique ability to bring depth to genre films, elevating action, horror, sci-fi, and fantasy beyond spectacle into storytelling that matters. As he steps into Mortal Kombat 2 and continues The Boys. Karl Urban is not reinventing himself. He doesn't have to. He's refining what already makes him great, the ability to disappear into a character while still carrying an unmistakable weight. Looking ahead, Urban doesn't need to change for Hollywood. Hollywood might need to slow down and catch up to what he's been doing all along. In a world obsessed with fast fame and louder performances, Karl Urban stands as a quiet force, a reminder that in the end, it's not the noise that lasts. It's the truth.